Tonight, I have a very special guest, none other than heavyweight Jason Gavern. Jason, are you on the line?
Yes, sir. Hello. How are you?
I'm great, Jason. For those people who don't know who you are, very quickly give an overview.
I am what you would call a veteran fighter. I have 48 professional fights. Been around the world, been training camps with every world champion over the last 7 years or so. Training sparring partners, fighting them. I've been in the game a while, and it's been a fun road up to this point.
Okay. You fought every heavyweight hitter that I know. The big ones, the big hitters, obviously. And the question for me to you is, how big a puncher is Deontay Wilder?
Deontay Wilder is definitely a big fighter. I mean, at the end of the day, any heavyweight is a big fighter.
Yep.
Deontay Wilder is not 32-0 by accident. You know, he's doing his job. Especially in the heavyweight division, everybody wanted to see knockouts, and that's what he's giving the people. And I know the critics talk and say, "Oh, Deontay hasn't gone past a few rounds, and we don't know how good he is. He's really tested." But at the end of the day, he's doing his job. He's knocking everybody out. So I'm a big fan of Deontay Wilder. Even though I'm a fighter myself, I'm a fan of boxing in general. And I'm definitely a fan of Deontay. And believe me, I'll be tuning in for his fight coming up this Saturday.
Okay, so when you were facing Deontay Wilder in the ring, I mean, you faced some of the best fighters in the world now. Technically, how good is Deontay?
I mean, Deontay's a good fighter. I mean, like you said, I've been in the ring with everybody. Deontay is definitely, at the end of the day, the power. If you lack in one area, you can bring it up, so to speak, with your power, if that makes sense. You know, so if you're not the best boxer or whatever, your power still, you could be losing a fight and catch a fighter in the last round, in the 12th round, and win the fight.
Right.
And for Deontay, he has that equalizer. You know, he could be, if he loses a fight, he can still catch somebody with that right hand or left hook.
Okay.
Deontay's a big, long, lanky guy, and he has a lot of power, and he knows how to use it. You know, so I'm a big fan of Deontay. So.
Okay. When you were as a shorter fighter, and you were trying to get on the inside, did you find it easy to get on the inside of Deontay, or did you find it difficult?
Did I find it easy to get on Deontay? I mean, I'm a small guy.
Right.
Deontay's fighting, is looking to fight guys. Deontay's in, you know, he wins this fight. His next fight's going to be against Klitschko. Klitschko's a guy, 6'6", 6'7", you know, big, tall, lanky guy. So Deontay's wanting to fight guys his style to almost get him ready for that fight.
Right.
You know, so I fought Deontay on 6 days' notice. I didn't know I was fighting Deontay, and Deontay didn't know he was fighting me. So he didn't have time to train for my style. I have a Joe Frazier, almost a Mike Tyson style. James Toney, you know, get in low, get in. I was able to get at him a few times, but he adjusted very well, used his jab well, and you know he did what he had to do. He got the job done.
But I mean, you fought other heavyweights, and you've been a sparring partner, like you said. So how does he compare? How does his style and technique compare to other fighters, would you say?
Deontay is definitely a world-class fighter. And every fighter has their own different style.
Right.
And Deontay's style is not going to work a Klitschko style or a guy like I fought Alexander Ustinov. The guy's like 6'8", 6'10",
right.
Huge guy. So Deontay works at his style, and he works very well at it. I think Deontay can be the next world champion. I think he can do a lot of things. You know, I think he's going to do pretty good.
So
like I said.
So how do you think this fight spatches up between himself and Stiverne? Break the fight down for me.
I keep seeing Stiverne in a 12th round with a 48-year-old Ray Austin who was way past his prime, and Stiverne was easily being beaten in that fight before he caught Ray Austin with that one shot that knocked him out and won him the fight. Stiverne has struggled in a few fights. You know, he has a loss. He's struggled in some fights. You know, so he's been tested. He's been the rounds, even against Areola. Both of his fights, before he knocked him out, he was losing the fights. You know, the first fight he was doing pretty good, but Areola was still getting to him. And the second fight, when he knocked him out in the 6th round, he was still losing up to that point. You know, so I don't know. I mean, it's exciting because, yes, Deontay has not gotten the rounds, and Stiverne has. I think Stiverne is going to try to take him into the later rounds. And I think Deontay's going to try to keep his KO. You know, he wants to be 33-0 with 33 knockouts, the heavyweight champ of the world. Whatever heavyweight in the world ever could say that they're 33-0 with 33 knockouts? I mean, that's amazing. You know, that's a great accomplishment no matter who you fought. But I think it's an exciting fight. I mean, the fight can go either way. You know, it all depends on how good Stiverne's been working, and Wilder's definitely working. I was just in camp with Wilder a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
He's working.
And how was Wilder in camp? How was he? What did he look like? And, you know.
Wilder is all business. You know, that's one thing about him is he knows his opportunity, and you never know if the opportunity will ever present itself again. And he's in shape. He's working hard. He has top trainers, top training camps, and a lot of sparring partners to give him different looks. So he's definitely not taking this lightly by any means. I'm not saying Stiverne is either, but I've only seen Wilder in camp, and he's working.
Okay,
you know, so you got to give him that credit.
You've been in camp, so then who else has Deontay Wilder been using as sparring partners? Do you know? I know he's used Demetrius King, who beat Stiverne. Who else has been in training camp? Do you know?
When I was with them, there was a guy actually from England named Isaac Chamberlain, I think his name is.
Okay.
I think he's actually making his pro debut, like maybe tonight or maybe he was last night. But he was a young kid, but he's not even pro. He's still an amateur, but the kid is really good.
Okay.
Very good fighter.
Okay.
Myself, there was Dominique Gwynn.
Okay.
And every week they have different fighters. So the week I was there, I don't know who else they had after that or before that.
Okay.
You know, so
I mean, the sparring partners. No disrespect to yourself, Jason, or any other guys there. Are these sparring partners being guys that actually putting it on Deontay? Are these sparring partners guys to make Deontay look good? If you understand what I'm saying.
When that bell rings, we're fighting. You know, Deontay has certain things he has to work on that he wants to get ready specifically for Stiverne, and we're there to help him get ready for that. But when that bell rings, you know, we're paid sparring partners for a reason.
Right.
So if Deontay catches us or whatever happens, if we catch him, you know, with sparring, we're not there to hurt each other because at the end of the day, if we get hurt, nobody can fight. You can't feed your family. But we're in there to work. We're in there fighting hard, and he's throwing and we're throwing, and you know, it's heat. We're in there. You know, so we're not taking it lightly. I mean, the way you train is the way you fight. So if he goes in there and he's taking it easy on his sparring partners or whatnot, he gets in the fight, he's going to fight the same way you train. You know, so believe me, when that bell rings, we're going to town on each other.
There's been lots of speculations that Deontay has been getting knocked out and dropped in sparring. How much of this is true and how much of this is hogwash?
Me personally, Deontay is very tall and he's rangy and he uses it so well.
Right. He's
a very good all-around fighter, and it's hard. I mean, I'm thinking 6'8". He's a big guy.
Right.
It's hard to get to him. So he really doesn't even get hit much in sparring because he's that good. Mm-hmm. He's that basic boxing wins you fights, and he's very, very good at his basic boxing. His distance, his jab, keeping people away, what they got to do. So I don't know who says that or whatever, but I haven't seen it, and he pretty much handles his sparring partners pretty easily, I think. I mean, But yeah, I haven't seen it myself.
Okay.
But I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay. This fight, how do you envision a fight going? Like, ding ding, round one, the two guys come out to fight. How do you see Deontay moving? How do you see BERMANE moving?
The first round or two is always a feel out round. It's always, let's see what this guy's going to do, how he's going to, and obviously Deontay 6'8", Stiverne 6'2", so Deontay wants to keep him on the outside. BERMANE wants to keep him on, close to him on the inside. So it's pretty much about, inches and feet in the boxing game. It's who controls them few inches. I mean, you can get out of the way of a punch in an inch. So I think Stiverne's going to try to make his way in. He knows Deontay hasn't gone past 4 rounds, so he's going to want to take him to the later round and see how he's going to react. See what he's going to do. And Deontay is going to stay on the outside with his long, lanky jab and just keep him away, keep him at distance. I think Deontay is in pretty good shape, and he's actually in tremendous shape. And I think he's been working well, and it's going to be hard for Stiverne to get in there. I mean, everybody tries to step in, he's going to hit with that jab and that right hand. There's only so many right hands he can take from Wilder because the guy's very strong. So, yeah, it's going to be an exciting matchup. And who knows how Stiverne is going to react when he gets into, if it even goes 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 rounds. How is he going to react because he's never been there before? You can spar 12 rounds all you want, but when it gets to fight time and the lights are there and the cameras and the people and the crowd, it's a whole different animal. So how is he going to react to it? So it's very interesting. It's an intriguing matchup, and I'm excited for it as a fan.
Okay, I want to talk about very quickly, Trent, your time in London when you fought the prize fighter. You were very much a fan favorite. The fans really warmed to you because you kept making this sound. Can you remind us what that sound was?
Yeah, over the years, it's at the end of the day, yes, it's boxing, but also it's entertainment.
Absolutely.
The crowd, the fans are going to remember certain fighters for what they did in the ring. Oh, they're very professional. They look good. They're sharp. But at the same sense, it is it's entertainment. They want to be, they want to come and see a good fight, but they want to see a good entertainer. They want to see something different than other people don't have. And so whatever reason, I just picked up making this noise, woo, and it's just been, I don't know, I've been doing it the last few years, and if I get hit with a shot or I'm, just looking to keep myself going, I make that noise, and I just started doing it the night of Prize Fighter, and the crowd just got into it. If it's not for boxing fans, there'd be no boxing, so you got to keep the fans excited. They want to come back and see the fights and remember, hey, that's Jason Gavern. I might not be the best fighter in the world, but they're going to remember me by saying, woo, and when I walk out, they're going to say that, and they're going to want to come and see the fight just to see what I'm going to do. So my trip in London was fantastic. The people were awesome. Eddie Hearn, the promoter's fantastic, and I'm looking forward to maybe coming back one day.
Do you think you would ever come back to England, maybe fight someone like an Anthony Joshua or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm definitely game for it, but it's hard to get those fights. Especially with an Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua will be, after Klitschko, he will be the heavyweight champ of the world.
Wow.
Without doubt about my Anthony Joshua is a very, very special guy that only comes once. He's a tremendous, tremendous fighter, and he's not even. I don't even think he's not even close to his prime yet. He's still a young kid. He's still learning. He is a tremendous fighter. But I would love a fight like that because at the end of the day, I'm here to make money to pay bills to feed my family.
Absolutely.
So if the Anthony Joshuas of boxing would give me the bigger fights and the bigger paydays, then that's where I got to take. But I'm definitely game for it.
Absolutely. Jason, I've got to say thank you for being such a bright personality to interview. I hope we can do this more often. And before I end, I'd like you to say a few words to the fans and how they can follow you on Twitter.
Yes, sir. I'm more of a Facebook guy. I do Facebook, but I do Twitter as well, at Jason Gavern. I mean, the London fans in particular have. London was, I've been around the world, fought the best people, been to training camps, but my trip to London was one of the best trips I've ever had as a professional fighter. That was one of the highlights of my career. The people were great, very friendly. York Hall was fantastic. It was a great, great time, and it's a blessing to have the fans that I do, whether it's England or around the world, Russia, Germany, anywhere I have fans. But yeah, you can follow me at Jason Gavern on Twitter and Facebook. Jason Gavern, just look me up, and yeah, I'm game. I'm here. Whatever. I'm a very personable person, so call me up, ask me any questions. I'm easy. So,
Jason Gavern, thank you so much for talking to Bayloric TV.
Yes, sir. It was my pleasure, and have a happy New Year, sir. God bless you guys.
You too. All the best.
All right, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you.